everybody. Welcome to another episode of Erica Schmerica Reality Recap. Today we're going to be talking about 90 Day Fiancé Before the 90 Days, Season 5, Episode 14. We are nearing the end. If you haven't done so already, please make sure to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel and go ahead and hit that notification bell to get notified about all new videos I'll be posting. Let's get started. Today we're Jasmine and Gino. So after their big fight last week, Gino stormed off and Jasmine had to wander around the whole entire resort looking for Gino, and she finally found a trail of baseball hats and she followed them to see a sulking Gino sitting there quietly, and she went up and sidled up next to him, apologized, and expressed interest in starting over fresh and new. So they went on a little day trip to the Panamanian jungle to go to a little hot springs and have a romantic afternoon where we actually saw Gino remove his hat and we saw his little skunk mullet in the back, if only for a split second, but we saw it. So anyway, then they headed back to the resort where Jasmine changed into a new outfit, a little color blocked pantsuit number, and they strolled through the rain with an umbrella to look at the mountainside. And as she was peering over the balcony at the mountains, she turned around to find Gino on one knee, proposing with the ring in the little lucite plastic ring box facing the wrong way, as he expressed his love and asked for her hand in marriage. He might have actually planned to have the ring box facing the wrong way because the ring was so ugly and he didn't want her to say no. But, she kind of looked at it, was very polite, said yes through tears. For some unknown reason, she seems to really love Gino, and it's very genuine. When asked about the ring, Jasmine seemed to say, "It screams Gino," which was very diplomatic. She seemed to appreciate it, even though it definitely wasn't her style. Let's just say that. So, mazel tov to the newly engaged couple. Then there was Queen Kimberly, Queen of the Comebacks Kimberly, and Superstar Soulja Boy. So Kimberly was still pacing around the honeymoon suite with her empty threats of leaving Tanzania early, which obviously the flight change for that was probably a fortune, so we know she's not doing that. She has one more day. And she was just saying things were 100% Mother Debbie done with Soulja Boy. So then she gets a text message not a minute later from Soulja Boy saying, "Meet me at the pool." So of course she's like, "Oh my god, what am I gonna wear? What Soulja Boy t-shirt am I even gonna wear?" So she tightened up her little genie ponytail at the top of her head and put on a blingy shirt and went downstairs to meet him. Meanwhile, Usman was hanging out with his USB crew, his staff, and telling them, "I don't know what to do about Kimberly. I really have feelings for her. She was very supportive, and I want to kind of stay with her, but she threw water in my face." Of course, his friends were trying to tempt him to end things so that he wouldn't have a BGL sequel, but, Usman wasn't sure where to go with that. So I guess he must have changed his mind, because in the next scene, we saw Kimberly walking down by the pool to see this beautiful romantic dinner set up, and she sat there like a little giddy school girl, "Oh my god, what's going on? It's for me?" This wasn't set up by production. Of course it was. And she sat there waiting, and she got her very own Soulja Boy concert unplugged, not even auto-tuned. It was un-auto-tuned, where he wrote a personalized song for her, but it was vague enough. It didn't have the word Kimberly in it. It was vague enough that it said "Girl, I met on the internet. I go there for you." So it was great. It brought a tear to Kimberly's eye, and she felt like he totally redeemed himself, and now they were back in a relationship on their Facebook statuses. For a little bit, they discussed what this whole long distance relationship would entail, and Soulja Boy invited Kimberly to come back to Nigeria to meet his mother, because maybe his mom was hungry for goat or something. I don't know. Anyway, is this foreshadowing that they're going to be in the next season? I just hope not. Can we be done already with these two? Back in Tunisia, Hamza is sitting on the veranda looking out into the distance, kind of wondering where can Memphis be, because she had taken off and not really given much explanation last week, because she needed me think about things and sit at her hotel room the night before their wedding. So of course his relatives were in the other room dancing, having a great time, and he just wasn't even sure where the bride could be. On the other hand, Memphis was sitting in her hotel room kind of talking to her mom and thinking about what she should do, because she didn't have enough time to get the prenup agreement, or pre-nush agreement if you were a Juliana fan. And She was really touched when she got a text message by Sister Hamza saying, showing her all the videos of all the celebration. And the thing to do would be to head back to the house and talk to Hamza in person. But she had planned on trying to push back the wedding. So when she got back to the house, she heard all kind of noises like coming from the apartment. And it was just the family super excited and celebrating. And they lived on like the 75th floor, so she was probably winded when she got to the top anyway. And she sat there and they whisked her away, and all the women got her dressed in the traditional Tunisian wedding garb, which included this like chainmail necklace that went over her face. And I'm guessing it's like some kind of Tunisian muzzle, which could have been more useful like 6 episodes ago. Anyway, so she didn't really have much time then because they took her right out of there into like a horse and carriage where they sang to her through the streets as they went and took her to like a bathhouse and performed even more rituals that involved candles. After that, they went back to the house where Hamza was getting a haircut in the middle of the living room. It's a very multi-purpose space. And she took him aside with the sister Hamza so she could translate and basically said, I need you to sign post-nut papers, no time pre-nush, please sign. And the sister thought that she was cold and kind of careless and didn't even consider Hamza's feelings and pretty much urged her brother, not to do this. This is ridiculous and she doesn't have your best interests in mind. Hamza, on the other hand, was just sick and tired of this, wanted to get all of this over with. So he agreed to sign the paperwork. And it looks like next week I'm going to have to buy them a toaster. So meanwhile, back in Peru, at the sand dunes in the desert, who knew? Not me. Mahogany was talking to her fake dad about Ben and how immature he was and about their relationship and how she's not that into it. Father Mahogany really urged her to get rid of this guy, get somebody her own age, and try and, enjoy life and just have a relationship with somebody else. So he left a note with his daughter to give to Ben because he didn't even feel like wasting the time talking to him. So anyway, Ben, on the other hand, was waiting because he wanted to have his big conference with the parents, Mahogany, wearing the most ridiculous outfit of all time. He looked like he just stepped right off of the pages of J. Peterman catalog, which he may or may not have written the copy for. I mean, with all of his great editorials, it seems as though he may actually have been the one to write the stories behind J. Peterman's successful catalog. So he was wearing this ridiculous hat, this poncho that looked like it came from Chico's, and he was sitting there like a weird tourist. So he was very shocked when he saw Mahogany show up as opposed to her parents, and she handed him the note, which she then translated, but didn't say anything the note actually said, just saying that her dad had to go, and that she didn't think she can be in a relationship with him because he's very immature, and she didn't appreciate the way he acted, and she wasn't very serious, and that was it, and she wants to leave. So she took off, as awkward as ever, and Ben was just like, man, if she wants to leave, I better go pack my bags. So he goes back to his room, grabs his bags, and then goes ahead and goes to Mahogany's room door, knocks on it, and some guy opens the door and was just like, no, the Mahogany here. So he starts pacing around the hotel, running here, there, and everywhere with his bag. He's down by the pool. He's dragging it all over, schlepping it all over the place. And then he goes over to the front desk and, he doesn't see her car in the parking lot. And then he goes to the front desk and he's like, the woman who was in this room, where is she? And they said, she checked out the night before. Now realizes that he's been stranded by the Mahogany in the desert of Peru and has to have, the front desk call him an Uber to go back to San Bartolo so he can then go back to Lima, Peru to fly out. Of course, this is going to set him back like $250, but you can go ahead and just charge that to God's plan. Then in Colombia, Mike was still feeling pretty bad about all of the insults that Jimena had hurled at him last week, and he was sitting down with her mother to try and get a little more insight, and clearly Mother Jimena saw a lot more value in the relationship with Mike than Jimena did. So she really was team Mike. She was trying to, convince him that he needs to talk to Jimena and that they should get to know each other better on this trip and to really stop creeping her out. Because she understood that Mike could probably give Jimena and her 2 sons, Juan and Harold Stephen. Harold, and then Steven a better life. So anyway, they decided to go on a date night. Mike went out with Jimena and they went to play pool. So Mike wore another skull shirt, thinking, he looked pretty badass and that he was going to really woo Jimena with these skulls that he keeps wearing. Meanwhile, she was dressed with some kind of like lady of the evening who only specialized in pirates. She was wearing like a silk scarf with like a white tank top and a cross necklace and like booty shorts with fishnets underneath. The award-winning outfit for sure. So they headed out to the pool hall in a cab, and she was just kind of like leaning to the side, not wanting to be anywhere near Mike, already saying that she wanted to get married. She just kind of wanted to be on her own. They get to the pool hall and they start playing, and Mike was like, I'm really good at pool, but he totally kind of sucked at pool the whole time. So then they sat down, grabbed some beers, maybe a little pirate ale for Jimena, and they sat down to discuss the state of their relationship. So Mike kind of just bluntly said, how come you seem to really not be into our relationship once I stop willingly buying you things? Accusing her of using him. So she was really like put off by that. And she was just like, I don't know, you just kind of creep me out. I told you I didn't really like you. And, the things you were doing were grossing me out. So, you can go if you want to go. Like, I don't want to get married. I don't even have fun with you. I have more fun with my kids listening to Baby Shark. Like, go. So Mike's like, well, if I leave, I'm taking everything that I bought you with me. Which, like, way to go, Mike. Clam claps for you, because take your power back. Isn't that what Oprah says? I'm not sure. So anyway, I don't think he was really threatening her. I think he was just trying to like be a big shot. And you know what? We'll let him have this round. So Jimena was just kind of like, well, we can just be friends. I'm not your girlfriend. You're not my boyfriend. We're just friends now. So Mike was just welled up with emotion, so much so that he pulled a Paul and got up and ran off through the streets. I mean, I'm pretty sure he was prompted to do that by production. If not, maybe he's just a big Paul fan. Who knows? So that was probably a dangerous move on his part to run through the streets of Colombia at night by himself. But he must have made it back to the house, because later on, there's a preview for next week showing him totally telling off Jimena, calling her a Hio Punta, which I hope means pirate hooker. Thanks so much for joining me for another episode of Erica Schmerica's Reality Recap. Please make sure to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you guys again next week. Bye!